And welcome back to Cigar Time, your friendly neighborhood TV show all about premium cigars. Yeah.
How come we don't have a light that says
On air?
on air
I don't know.
budget?
Somebody was ill prepared.
Somebody doesn't have a mic on. How did the sound check not pick that up?
Because he didn't do
How
this.
come Moose has that?
It was close. It was close enough so he could pick it up when it's
Moose
on.
is kind of hasn't his so that's
And I
gigantic.
I know, it's huge.
Hey, right?
I had that one a couple weeks ago.
What's that?
Your
So anyway,
microphone condom.
I get them all the time. They're trying to soften. Say they don't hear me opening cigars.
Scott, what are we smoking today?
This is the TAA
Yes.
Angel something.
Lost Angel.
Lost
Is it
Angel.
Lost Angel?
Yes.
Oh, good. I was going to say Angel Share, but I think that's
That's a different company.
Fuente.
Different company.
Yeah, before the Lost Angel, they had the Angel's Anvil
Yeah.
for a couple of years.
Crown
Yeah, I
heads.
thought they were
Crown
all.
heads.
I thought they were all Angel. I thought they all had the same.
No,
I didn't notice they
Angel's
changed it.
Anvil for a while, a couple
What
of
was
years.
the first one? Oh,
Angel's
okay.
Anvil.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then after 2 years, they switched to the Lost Angel.
Lost. Oh, okay. How about that?
Just so you guys know,
That's what it's
and
called.
gals, the
Mexican.
TAA is the Tobacconists Association of America. It's the 70, 75 most important brick and mortar retailers in the country as a group.
Importance kind of a stretch.
And every year, many manufacturers make something exclusive for TAA members. And we are the only TAA store east of Harrisburg in Pennsylvania.
False.
Which one? There's one up near Scranton, isn't there?
Yeah, there's one up in the Poconos.
The Pecona? Well, that doesn't count. They're way up in the air.
That's even further away than Scranton, or either further away than Harrisburg.
Right, but it's west. It's east of Harrisburg.
It is. That's correct.
We're the only ones around.
Yeah. Within an hour and a half of
And
the
you can only
drive.
get these in
Delaware
stores.
Valley.
You can't
Yeah,
get
okay,
this stuff
that's not-
online. You can't get discounts.
No online, no discounts.
Part of the TAA.
Unless you go to samples, did that go out?
I don't know. I didn't hear what you said.
I think you need to bleep that.
Paul, what did you say this blend was?
The blend is interesting. It's a hybrid Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper. And unfortunately, they do not disclose what they hybridized it with. So I don't know what the other
Cameron.
contribute. I don't think so.
I think they're just using creative license with how they do Sumatra. How Sumatra was.
So they call it hybrid Sumatra. Well,
Probably.
Sumatra, Ecuador Sumatra is a hybrid to begin with. Most people don't realize this, but in the late 1940s,
I actually think a lot of people realize it because this is like the 18th time you've told us.
well, then I won't tell you again.
It's always educational. No, that's actually
We might have new people
I
watching.
am perfectly happy to shut up and let you talk.
No.
not me. But you're right, Paul. That's why I said taking marketing license with the hybrid because it is a hybrid.
So a hybrid of a hybrid is kind of a bizarre idea,
Was I right?
although it
It's-
can be done.
it is.
They all could be referred to as
Sumatra is the hybrid of
Indonesian,
Indonesia and
Sumatra, and African
Cameroon. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
And
I
that was
remembered
done in the late 1940s by a family named Arai. And ever since, Ecuador Sumatra is only second to Ecuador Connecticut as the best-selling wrapper in the world.
Why would they do that in the 40s?
Because they
It's
were tobacco farmers and they were experimenting. And they came up with something
They know
good.
how to do that. They knew how to do that then.
They've known how to hybridize plants since the 1800s. It's not
Really?
genetic engineering. It's crossing plants or taking cuttings and attaching
Oh,
them
okay.
to...
Oh, yeah,
You know, it's
okay.
all of
Yeah.
that.
Who was the first person that did that? Said, "Yeah, let me take this orange tree and shove it into a cherry tree and see if it grows."
Yeah.
And you get an orange cherry
Yeah.
or a red orange,
A raw orange.
a orange, or a charange.
Or a liger.
Or a liger. I love ligers.
So do I.
A
Liger.
lion and a tiger.
Liger. Lion and
Oh yeah.
They're huge.
They grow about 40% bigger than either species alone.
Yeah, I have a pet one.
Okay.
It would stand up taller than you if you had one. on its hind feet, it would be way bigger than you. They're enormous.
Oh, on its hind feet or just like
On its
walking
hi-
along?
Walking
Oh,
along, it would probably come up to your shoulder.
I would-
Standing up, it's way over your head.
We'll never find out because I'm not getting close enough.
They are enormous animals.
Although they
so
can't
many
reproduce.
jokes. I'm keeping my mouth shut today.
That's a good idea.
They cannot reproduce though.
All right, so the wrapper is a
No wonder they're
hybrid
always pissed off.
Ecuadorian Sumatra. The binder is a non-hybridized Ecuadorian Sumatra, so it was only hybridized once instead of twice.
But it's the binder. Who cares? It's not. That's not big marketing fodder.
No, it's not. The filler
Oh, my.
blend is pretty interesting. It's Dominican, Mexican, and Nicaraguan. And although you don't hear much about Mexican filler, all of the talk is about the St. Andres wrapper.
Right.
There are some very, very good fillers coming out of Mexico as well. And so it's Dominican, Mexican, and Nicaraguan in the filler.
I have a question for you, Paul.
Yeah.
And maybe that was just a mislabeling, but I was looking at the La Gloria Series S,
Yes.
and there was it had San Andres on the, but then there was another one that had San Andres, and then it had Maduro also.
Not all St. Andres tobacco is Maduro. So there are St. Andres naturals that are not treated the way Maduro is typically treated.
Right.
It's still a very dark leaf. In fact, in the local parlance, it's called tobacco negro. It's Mexican black tobacco, although the Cuban cigar tobacco is also called tobacco negro. And that's
That's
just
black tobacco, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and then the pipe tobacco is.
Well, there's a whole bunch of different ones.
But there's
Burley
two.
and-
But it's no. There. If
Burley
you go
and
all the way up the
Virginia.
strain, it starts with black tobacco, and which I always thought was odd because I always thought black tobacco was pipe tobacco until I read that stupid book from Tobacconist University.
Well, there you go.
It messed me all up.
And that's why you don't take the test.
No, I don't take it because of pipes, and you. And you don't take it for the exact same reason I do.
Exactly right.
So what's a cigar that the San Andres? If you don't know off the top of your head, that's not a Maduro.
Other ones?
Because now that you say that, I remember that, but I'm trying to think of a cigar.
There are not too many cigars with a St. Andres wrapper that isn't Maduro.
The SO, that's a broadleaf. That's a Connecticut
And that's a
broadleaf.
Connecticut broadleaf
yeah.
natural.
Natural, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of another one
It's
offhand.
just because I all of the San Andres I've seen was, well,
Maduro.
it's all dark, which I don't know. I don't.
You just
without,
assume that it's a Maduro.
Yeah, which is without
usually-
digging
It's a
into
safe-
it, you don't
it's
know.
a safe bet, yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't keep that cigar lit.
Thank you for giving me this great lighter.
Watch. Skip.
Yeah, burn his mustache off.
Yeah, well, I can't do that.
You already did.
Every morning with
Yeah.
a torch
He
lighter.
doesn't shave, he just takes the torch and
I just
rub it
cauterize.
across his face.
Anybody want a stupid government update?
Sure.
Absolutely.
So, Congress introduced the Care for Moms Act, and it's what it's done. It's to increase health care for new mothers and expectant mothers, but as happens with the government, it would also exponentially increase the taxes on lots of tobacco products, including cigars.
This is
To
why
pay,
we.
to
this-
pay for all.
this
You
is-
mean like the way the chip law was supposed to
Probably.
promote child health?
Exactly.
This is why we need line item veto.
Yes. 100%.
Yes.
Because they put these earmarks on, and
With deeper pockets.
right. So
Bunch of
the
communist
different
bitches.
products that this tax is the new tax is affecting are e-cigarettes, roll your own. There's a 16-time increase on the pipe tobacco tax. No, we don't. I don't know what. I mean, maybe pipe tobacco tax is 2 cents or something. I don't.
No, it's more than that.
I don't know because I don't really sell it. They're doubling the tax on small cigars, and I'm going to give you an example of what's happening to premium cigars. So right now, everybody pays a federal tax on all cigars. It's 40.26 cents a cigar. It's already built into the price. It happened 12 years ago, maybe.
09.
Was it 09?
It's the first thing that the CHIP Act is the first thing that Obama signed.
So 14 years
So 14 years ago, it happened. We've absorbed it. And if you didn't know it, then now you do. That's already built in. So what it was actually a cap of 52.75%. I'm sorry, a tax of 52.75%, but they capped it per cigar at the 26. Now they're changing the model to a weight-based tax. So it's for every pound. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's $49.56 a pound is the new tax, which doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot to a lot of people. But I'm going to give you some examples. So a Robusto, the current tax is 40.26.
40.
So if the bill passes, the tax will now be $1.37 per cigar, which is a 240% increase. On a Toro, tax will be $1.80 per cigar for a almost 350% increase. And then a Gordo, which is the
6 by
one of the
50.
heavier, 6x60. Currently, you're paying 40.26 cents a cigar. The bill passes. The tax on each cigar will be $2.41, which is almost a 500% increase. So there's an example. If you take a Robusto that currently has an MSRP of $9.50, and this is an example that really only applies to Pennsylvania and Florida because there's no
And New
state
Hampshire.
tax. And New Hampshire, for the most part, yeah. If they have, what, a 1 cent tax? Or
No, it's anything under that wholesales for over $2.
Okay.
There's
Wholesale.
wholesales.
Okay.
There's no tax on it.
All right.
On the other hand, one of the redeeming factors in New Hampshire is that everybody that has a cigar, virtually everybody that has a cigar store, has a bar in their cigar store, in the whole state.
Oh, that's
All
nice.
right. Wish we could do that. So in the states where there's no other taxes, if a Robusto currently has an MSRP of $9.50, that includes the federal excise tax, so you're paying $9.50
Right.
because the tax is already included in there. If this Tobacco Tax Equity Act is actually enacted and passed, that same cigar will increase almost $2. So it'll go from $9.50 to $11.43.
That's ridiculous.
Or
they attached
$50
it-
a box.
And they attached it
it
to
to
a
this.
mother's milk.
So nobody can say
So
no.
nobody. Yeah. What are you going to do? Say no? We don't want to help the.
I never would have
that's what they
thought
do.
I would
That's
say
why.
this, but maybe chaos in Congress right now is a good thing.
Oh my God.
So
it's
they
just
can't
so
pass this.
ridiculous.
Well, they've been doing this forever. I mean,
They've been trying
it's
to do it
a
forever.
900-page bill, and there's like a one paragraph that you've got to seek out that like ends funding for everything, and it's ridiculous how they do things.
Line.
And they do that now, so you can say, oh, my opponent opposes,
Right. Exactly.
opposing helping newborns
Yeah.
because he
He
didn't
voted
vote
against
for this.
it.
And
But that's not really what he voted
Voted
against.
against mothers.
Yeah.
exactly,
Many of the
exactly,
little brats as it is.
right.
That's just ridiculous.
So, anyway, there's your government at work at the federal level.
It's ridiculous.
Although I did read there's a bill it doesn't affect us, but I think it was a bill in Wisconsin that will increase the number of cigar lounges. So
How would it do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I read the headline. I didn't really dive into it because it was more
They
pissed off
probably-
And
about
this is at the same
Just-
time
just for
that
the sake of
Pennsylvania is
discussion.
basically trying to eliminate cigar
Yes.
lounges.
Yeah.
They probably, just for the sake of discussion, like 100 lounges, they're going to increase it to 200 or allow another 100 to be opened up.
You can open up as many as you want. It's a free country.
But, well,
You can open as many cigar lounges as you want. Yeah, you just can't smoke in them. Like in Delaware. You can smoke in a cigar shop
I know.
in Delaware.
That's ridiculous.
can you have an outdoor patio?
I don't know.
Yeah. I
That's-
went to
That's
one.
interesting because when I was a cigar sales rep and I went to Delaware, I'd always walk into a store smoking a cigar and no one said, oh, you can't do that.
I've done it too, but I have been to somewhere. I was at one where they said, no, you can't.
I was in St. Michael's and they have a lounge there or a store there because there's no lounge because you can't smoke there.
Where's St. Michael's? In Delaware?
Maryland?
Delaware, Maryland, Delaware. It's the same state. It's
One
the
of
same
those
thing.
things.
One of those states.
Delaware.
Yeah. And they don't. You
Delmar.
couldn't smoke any.
Delmarva.
You couldn't smoke there either. I'm like, do you have a lounge? Because I was buying a cigar. I'm like, do you have a lounge? He's like, no. You can't smoke inside. I'm like,
Why would
Then
you want
why
to? You
would
got
I-
that beautiful, the water's right there. You could sit outside on a bench,
I know, but it was kind of
have some
cold.
seafood.
It's kind of cold outside that time. It was in December, so.
That's cold.
Well, that's like the guy that owned Churchill's in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, who had no lounge,
Oh,
had
yeah.
no chairs,
Yeah,
and it was legal to smoke in there.
yeah.
But his attitude was, I don't want to marry you. Buy your cigars
And
and
get
get
out,
out.
get out.
And he said that to his customers.
It was Joey Ormond, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Who had literally the oldest cigar shop in New Jersey. He was there forever till he died.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just the business
Well,
model.
Isn't it, Paul? You worked in Jersey and lived there. Isn't it in Jersey you can't have a cigar lounge? You have technically a tasting room to sample a cigar.
That went on for a while, and they dropped enforcement on that.
Is that what
totally.
happened?
Yeah.
Because didn't
So
Horde-
at the licensing phase, you can only get a license for a tasting room, but after that, you do whatever you want.
Okay. Because I remember reading an article that Jorge Armand, am I saying his last name right?
Yeah.
Wrote about that. It was like put all this money into a lounge, and it took them like 6 years to get, a long time to get it open because of this
Yeah.
sampling room.
But
crap.
that's a licensing issue that
Okay.
doesn't go forward after that.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's get our first impressions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now that we're
We're halfway through.
more than that.
What are we talking about? Actually, I'm enjoying this. Burns nice, decent amount of smoke. I'm getting a little slight pepper, not a lot. Almost, yeah, just a little bit in the front of my tongue. Very smooth. I'm enjoying it.
Paul?
I find this to be much milder than I would have expected reading about the blend and looking at the cigar itself. But despite that, it's got the things that I care about most. 4 words.
Sure it's not 3?
Creamy, yes. Creamy, sweet, spicy, and I forgot the 4th one. It's creamy and it's sweet and it's a little bit spicy and it's a little bit earthy. That was
That's
the
what
4th one.
it was.
And I find those 4 things are very explicit. They're almost, it's like they weren't blended together. Those flavors are just there independently.
Right.
And that's a good thing. It makes the cigar more interesting. If it was up to me, I would wish for a little more strength. I'd put this at about a 1.5 on the strength scale.
I would have said 2, but yeah. It's not
Sweet is the 4th word. I just
Yes.
just check this
You
out.
just checked my notes.
Scott.
The fact checker has spoken.
I would agree with the mild to medium. I'm getting more pepper than anything, and you know what? My whole tongue is coated with pepper. I didn't notice the cream at all until you mentioned it, Paul, and then I realized, you know what? He's right. It's kind of
That's why it's coating your whole palate.
yeah. It's kind of it's like a subtle kind of, but I don't. I find this cigar a little harsher than you guys did, and maybe I don't know. Maybe if it's because I retrohaled or I don't know. Maybe I swallowed smoke or something in it. But I can feel it in the roof and the back of my mouth.
Speaking of retrohaling, before you give your first impressions, Had a customer in the store yesterday who was talking about how you taste cigars. And he had never heard of retrohaling. And I told him about it. And he listened and he watched me do it and he thought about it. I mean, he was a contemplative guy. And then he went ahead to do it, but somehow he got the impression you're supposed to inhale and then blow it out through your nose. I swear he almost died right in front of the cash register.
Ouch. I've
And
inhaled.
he's a judge.
I've inhaled cigars before, and it about kills you.
It
I mean,
does.
and I didn't do it on purpose. It's
No.
one of those things where you're walking with a box or something, you're carrying a cigar, and you're like, oh,
Right.
it's.
yeah.
Ugh. But I can imagine most people would think you'd have to inhale the smoke
yeah.
in order to exhale through your nose.
My first impressions are basically the same as everybody else's, but I'm definitely getting a creaminess coating the entire palate. It's very good. But through the retrohale, I'm getting a toastiness
I didn't
From
retro
the-
this yet.
from the tobacco, which is very nice. I like it a lot.
It's funny because it's interesting how palates work. Because you say that a lot about cigars, and I don't always pick that up. The toastiness for some reason. Like with me normally, although not lately, it's usually cocoa or chocolate or some kind of coffee. But I just noticed you pick up a lot of the toasty notes, and
yeah.
it's not something I get a lot.
Do you get it on this one?
No.
I'll tell you what, the mellowness of this cigar translates right through to the retrohale. Normally retrohales are pepper and
Right,
an underlay
exactly.
of other stuff.
It is. It's also
It's
creamy.
without the pepper.
Yeah. I also got a buttery
Yeah.
taste from it. It's very nice.
For a mildish cigar,
Yeah,
there's a lot going on.
This is a real dark cigar, and most people think you see a dark cigar, it's real heavy and full bodied and all that. Not so in this cigar. So it's very, very. I still think it's like a 2
Strength-wise.
strength wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't find it like right in the middle at all.
No.
So, Scott, do we have some events coming up?
Yes. I just want to remind everybody for professional football games,
American football.
American football. There are certain stores that are having
Real football.
parties. It's King of Prussia, Colmar, Richborough, Downingtown, and Doylestown. For all of the Taylor's Boyfriends Brothers team are having parties.
Taylor's boyfriend
and Fraser and Fraser. So we've rebranded the promotion to Taylor's Boyfriends Brothers Team Party. Just so you know.
That's crazy.
Somebody told me that Taylor used to have a tight end.
Oh, Lord. Oh, that's so bad.
So also this Friday is Friday the
You
13th.
got it 10 minutes later.
No, I was laughing because he just completely let it go. Scott didn't want to take anything off that.
Oh my God! I mean, it's obvious what's going on. Right?
Yeah.
It's a family show. What you guys
Well-
are doing.
Isn't he a tight end?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he's got a.
She's got a tight end.
He's not a wide receiver.
That happens after so many years.
Although
my
he,
God.
although he
Scott,
is,
what were you saying?
although he
Come
is
on.
doing his
Stop.
best Freddie
Stop.
Mercury impression with that mustache.
Stop.
That comes in handy when he's dealing with that tight end.
So, Mr. Pfizer?
All right.
Huh?
Come on.
Oh,
All right, we're going down the toilet.
so this Friday there's an AJ event in Horsham,
No, we're just rolling
and it's
around
Friday the
the ball right
13th. So,
That's your birthday.
well, I was born on Friday the 13th.
January.
That explains a lot.
Yes, it does.
Congratulations.
Actually, do you
have
99%
your
of the people who I've told have said the exact same thing.
What?
That explains a lot.
It does.
It just
Moose, you should know this. October 13th. Isn't that the day that...
That's the reason why it's considered a bad luck day. Is that's when the Pope declared the Masons and the Knights Templar persona non grata.
and when they
And
they
that's
arrested
the day,
all
that's the day they arrested
the
him.
King of
Right.
France arrested all the Templars.
And that's
Yep.
why it's considered
bad
bad
luck.
luck.
Yep. And it's October 13th. So
October 13th.
Yeah, but that's
I forget
just the
the year.
French.
I forget.
So
the
we got to
year,
do the same thing for the day Biden took office?
Yeah.
Is that going to be the new thing?
Yeah.
That'd be
That's
that's
the
a good
21st.
idea. I like
So
that.
it's January 21st.
January the 21st. Yeah.
So,
It's a
Bad luck day.
it is
Bad
very
luck day.
So, all right.
I feel like David Letterman throwing the cards.
They're on the Chris.
It's my thing now.
Is it?
Yeah. When we go into syndication.
Try to throw your phone.
I don't think that's
I
happening.
would like to.
After 10 years, I don't think it's going to happen.
You've had that
It
phone
almost
for
did.
10 years?
Almost
No,
did.
he's talking about syndication. We met with somebody who does syndication, and
Yeah, we did a million years ago.
I don't remember whatever, why we didn't do that.
Because he wanted to do it as a radio show as opposed to television show. And Art,
both.
Saw your
and, Art,
faces?
and Art said no.
Did he see your faces? Is that why?
Then we had
Yeah.
something like
we have a
that.
voice.
Yes.
We looked
a
at
voice
all
for
We
four
four
actually
of
of
us.
had we actually had a lunch over at Wingley's, and he goes,
And
"No, I
he
think
said
I
you
think
guys
radio
have
would be better.
faces for radio.
I think radio would be better." All right, very quickly we have to put our
Face for radio and a voice for print.
yeah our final thoughts, Moose, and then put a number on it.
I'm still getting the same flavors. I mean, I hasn't changed much at all. Sometimes one bounces out more pronounced than the other one, but I give it a 9.
Okay.
Well, you know, I'm not typically a mild cigar lover. I still find this cigar to be quite mild, but I really, really like the creaminess of it with just that hint of pepper. I give it a 9.3. I like this cigar a lot.
Scott?
I'm starting to get kind of a vegetal kind of flavor from it. Almost, I'll tee this up for you guys. Almost like raw nuts. Like you've ever had like a walnut that wasn't roasted kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Something like that. I give it an 8, 9.
Oh, that's pretty good for you.
Yeah, it's just I wanted. I'm just comparing this to other cigars that I've given a 9, and I can't get. It just doesn't get there. for me. It's very good, and an 8.9 is a good cigar.
Yeah.
Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to have a sip of soda. I mean water. It's water flavored soda.
Soda-flavored
I-
water.
I really like the cigar. It was very surprising. I didn't think I would, but because
Really?
it's I
Why?
didn't think I would. I don't know. I'm not a huge Crown Head fan,
Except for Mil
for
Diaz.
Mil Diaz, yeah. But yeah, I just wasn't expecting much from this cigar, but it's given me a lot. It's got a lot of taste to it, like you said. For a mild cigar, this cigar has a lot of taste.
See, I would amend that slightly. For me, it's not because it has a lot of taste, but it's got a lot going on in my mouth. Like it's like the sensations are all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like a 4th of July party going on in my mouth
So
here.
there's a party going on in your mouth.
So
Beat
why
to
would you
it.
say it has a lot of taste then?
Because it's more sensations than flavor. Like it's coating my tongue. I'm feeling it all over my palate as opposed to the actual identifying the flavors.
Okay.
Give your opinion.
I
You got
am.
15 seconds.
I know. I give it a 9.25. So I very surprising. So
Life's too short to smoke cheap
Thanks for
cigars.
watching.
Ciao for now,
Ciao for now,
everybody.
everybody.
Smoke often and smoke happy.